You made it. You've survived the tension of Lilith, Pluto, eclipses, reconnections, and internal breakups. And now that the sky falls silent for a moment, that's when you feel the most. Because silence reveals what chaos kept hidden. On May 5th, 2025, the moon enters Virgo, and at the same time, continues waxing, amplifying the energy of rebuilding, detail, logic, and emotional order. But don't be fooled. This isn't immediate relief. It's a calling to reorganize what remains, to return to what's essential, not as an escape, but as an honest restart. The moon in Virgo doesn't allow illusions anymore. It points out, with surgical precision, what's out of alignment. It shows where your soul is craving structure, routine, coherence. This is the part of the month where many people freeze. They want to rest, but feel pressure. They want to act, but feel confused. And it's exactly here that the sky invites you to do something no one will see. But that changes everything inside. Reorganize yourself. After intense weeks, you feel a subtle but clear shift. The emotions are still there, but now they're paired with analytical thoughts. You start to ask yourself, why am I still in this situation? Why do I keep repeating this? What exactly threw me off balance so badly? This is the moon in Virgo's first move. It brings logic back to your soul. Not cold, distant logic, but the kind that needs to make sense so you can keep moving forward. Over the past few days, maybe you cried, exploded, shut down, got lost. Today, the feeling is different. You want to understand. And that's powerful, because when emotion starts searching for meaning, it transforms. You stop being a prisoner of what you feel and start becoming the author of what you'll do with it. This phase is uncomfortable because you realize a lot of what hurt was fed by you. And at the same time, that gives you power. If you were the one keeping it going, you can also be the one to end it. The moon in Virgo isn't about magical revelations. It shows what was always there, but you avoided looking at. Suddenly, that relationship you were trying to save feels totally off. That harmless habit is draining your energy. And that excuse you repeat to yourself every day, today it just sounds hollow. It's uncomfortable. But that's exactly why it works. Virgo points out what's out of place without yelling, without drama. It just shows. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start realizing how much of your chaos wasn't external. It was weak structure, neglected routine, emotional permissiveness. This is the chapter of the quiet truth, the one that nudges you, that makes you take a deep breath and admit this doesn't work anymore. And here's where the first act of realignment is born, owning what needs to change, without guilt, but with full responsibility. Now that you've seen what's out of alignment, a new decision arises. What needs to go? The moon in Virgo doesn't tolerate clutter, and the waxing phase won't allow stagnation. Their meeting sparks a kind of inner cleanup that isn't driven by anger or impulse, but by practical coherence. You start noticing things growing inside you, but off track. Connections that deepened with no real purpose. Obligations you took on to please others. Plans that weren't even yours, but you carried to avoid disappointing someone. Conscious pruning means cutting with compassion. You don't need to rebel. You don't need to disappear, break ties, or make a scene. But you do need to choose what comes with you and what stays behind. Today, cutting a harmful habit, a looping thought, a cycle that always restarts in the same place, is a spiritual act. You're not being harsh. You're being clear, and clarity, even when it stings, is always a relief. Virgo rules the inner workings of the body: intestines, digestion, nervous system. In other words, the stuff you feel but don't show, the things you bottle up. And now, your body is starting to speak. Today, it might feel like just fatigue. But listen closely. Is your sleep too light? Has your appetite shifted? Does anxiety hit out of nowhere in the middle of the afternoon? Are you compensating with caffeine, distractions, or food? The moon in Virgo isn't asking you to push through these sensations. It's asking you to listen. Your body is saying everything your soul postponed over the past few days. The cleansing you're trying to do mentally also needs to happen physically. And this isn't about perfection. It's about energetic coherence. If you want peace, stop consuming what agitates you. If you want clarity, cut the excess. If you want vitality, rest, and stop justifying chaos as a normal routine. Now is the time to align the invisible with the physical, because when you neglect the body, you slowly dim the soul. The sky is clear, the moon is waxing, and you already know what needs to go. Now the question changes. What comes next? Virgo's answer is simple: small, steady, real action. No elaborate plans, no grand gestures to flip the switch. This lunar phase wants you to pick one step, one adjustment, one daily practice that moves you toward where you want to be. Maybe it's going for a walk in the morning. Maybe it's walking away from a draining conversation. Maybe it's just opening your laptop and starting, even without inspiration. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for some magical alignment. Virgo doesn't dream. She executes. She shows you that the soul grows when you plant the same seed every day, even when no one's watching. Today, real spirituality is choosing a simple act and repeating it with presence. You've already felt the chaos. Now it's time to structure the path. Some things you know you need to release. Others, you just feel. They have no name, no shape, but they take up space. They weigh you down, exhaust you, block your flow. It's that discomfort you can't quite explain, a lightness that never comes, even when everything looks fine on the outside. A feeling of always being slightly stuck without knowing exactly why. This is the energetic clutter the Virgo moon wants to highlight. The invisible mess you've piled up in your silences, your compromises, your swallowed words. And now, as the moon waxes, it starts to press, not with shouting, but with persistent discomforts, forgetfulness, trouble focusing, irritation for no clear reason, a sudden urge to disappear for just a little while. This is a call for cleansing, not on the outside, on the inside. And you don't need any complex technique here. Just the courage to say, I don't know exactly what's weighing me down, but I know I don't want to carry it anymore. This is the hardest kind of cleansing and the most transformative. There's one thing Virgo teaches better than any other sign. Spirituality can't survive in chaos. You can meditate for hours, study everything, burn every incense stick on earth. But if you're sleeping poorly, eating with guilt, drowning in tasks, your energy field is going to crash. The Virgo moon shows you that the daily details are sacred. What you eat, how you organize your space, what you feed your eyes, what you think the moment you wake up, all of it shapes your soul's state. And now is the perfect time to make small adjustments. Not with rigidity, but with reverence. Maybe it's creating a simple morning ritual. Maybe it's setting a fixed time for silence. Maybe it's taking 15 minutes a day to tidy a room or your thoughts. You'll notice that as you adjust the outside, the inside begins to breathe more freely. And that's not a coincidence. It's energetic coherence. One of the biggest spiritual misconceptions is thinking that true love never sets limits. But today, the Virgo Moon reminds you, saying no is also an act of love. Some emotions seem deep, but they're just old patterns in disguise. Some relationships seem intense, but they're just emotional reruns. Virgo teaches, if something unbalances you more than it nourishes you, it's not love, it's attachment. And this lunar cycle calls for discipline. It asks you to hold back the impulse to save others at your own expense, to stop repeating excuses, to stay where you no longer belong. Today, the most loving gesture might be saying, I can't be here anymore. I need to put myself first right now. I love you, but this is hurting me. Today, there's no need for external symbols, candles, spiritual baths, or magic words, because the real ritual this Virgo moon is asking for is a silent commitment to your integrity. It's not easy, because it demands something few are willing to do. Consciously choose what stays with you and what needs to stop now. Maybe it's a habit you've been saying, I'll change, for months. A thought that always shows up when you try to rise. An expectation you carry quietly, but that drags you down without you even noticing. This choice doesn't need to be announced. It just needs to be real. So today's ritual is simple and to the point. Grab a notebook, a notes app, or just write it out mentally, but with presence. Answer honestly, what can I no longer carry with me? What part of me deserves more structure starting now? Then, take a practical action. Not symbolic, practical. Close a tab that distracts you. Uninstall what drains your energy. Say no to something you always said yes to. Set an alarm to go to bed earlier. Book that appointment you've been putting off for weeks. That's the ritual, and it changes everything. After chaos, exhaustion, and heavy cycles, it places a clear choice in front of you. Organize yourself from the inside out, or keep replaying the chaos around you. It might sound harsh, but it's freeing, because once you realize you can create inner order, even when everything around you feels uncertain, you understand that you don't need control anymore. You need inner consistency. Today, the sky isn't asking for perfect plans. It's asking for truth. It's offering a chance to do things differently. Not because everything's finally right, but because you've decided to stay aligned with what you want to build. And to close this video with intention, drop this in the comments. I choose the order that sustains me. If this message resonated with you, leave that line. It's your anchor point. It's a code between you and your soul. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now. Hit the bell, because the sky shifts every week, and we shift with it. See you in the next one, with more strength and with more direction.